Hello, everyone, and welcome to City Pigeons, episode 66. Can I get an initial round of applause here for all the people in the house? Thank you. All right, Eagles Mania has set in. We have our playoff game on Monday, and everyone is whipped into a frenzy. Yes. We can't wait. The vibes are extremely high. Everyone is super excited about this game. No one has any reservations. There's nothing to fear at all. The fans are in unison. Everyone is so excited and positive about what is going to happen on Monday. Isn't that right, Meech?
Is that right?
I don't know.
I don't think most of the people agree with that.
That was a little tongue-in-cheek. I'm not going to lie. That was a little tongue-in-cheek. But nonetheless, we are at what is, I think, without question, the most exciting event in Philly sports that's happening this week. We are at the first ever Bootleg T-shirt art exhibition here at the Coop. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for showing up.
Give it up for Dan McFly. Give it up. Give it up for Dan.
We got to start right off the bat by thanking our man, Dan McQuaid. And I was talking to Dan earlier, and I was like, this is an amazing idea. And the great part about this is no one else could really do this because no one else is strange enough to collect these shirts over the course of the last, 30 years. So, Dan, thank you for being a little bit quirky. While the rest of us passed by the guy selling the bootleg shirts, Dan insisted on getting a shirt every time. And this is the fruit of his labor. So you guys are all great people for coming to check this out. Let's make sure I see Aleko's getting some of the good people on the video, get them onto the podcast here. And if you're checking in on YouTube, be sure to drop a comment so we can see what's up and interact with you while we do this thing. So everybody has their own, I think, kind of bootleg T-shirt story, right? If you're a Philadelphia fan, at some point in your life, you've had some sort of interaction with a bootlegger. You've bought a shirt. I think for most people, they're like, every once in a while, they kind of, I don't want to say slip up, but they're like, oh, that one's too good. I got to have it. You know what I mean? And you actually purchase one. And
I have a confession. I've literally never bought a bootleg T-shirt in a parking lot.
That's a Are you serious?
Like,
all right,
literally
let's do
one.
Let's do a quick exercise. Raise your hand if you've ever bought a bootleg T-shirt in a parking lot. How have you never? You're supposed to be like authentic Philly guy. Now,
you know why? Because I go to the game wearing shit, and I don't want to walk around the whole game with a T-shirt.
Get it on the way out,
to the
though.
gift shop.
Get it on the way
when I
out.
go into the stadium.
I forgot to
I
do
don't wanna
something.
walk around with a gift for 4 quarters.
I always get bashed for doing this, so I'm going to do it real quick. I'm Jesse Rendell. Thank you guys so much. This is my man, Mike Meech. Meech, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
We got Roger Rock Matthews to my right.
Hello.
The Fink over in the Fink tank, Eric Fink. Say what up.
What's up?
What's up? And over in the Good Heart Bar, guys, we have microphones and cameras over there too.
We're waiting.
Although Dan, I think you might be in Mark and Tom's camera shot
No,
here.
Dan is the shot.
Yeah, there you go.
Nobody's here to see Mark and
I know Mark is way in the back. Guys, you can get beers over there, by the way.
Mark
So
and
if
I
you
have never
haven't
got this many people in
yet, head
here.
over there. Hey, is there any of the Bird Gang left, or is that all
I
gone?
see some Bird Gang vodka
We got
over
it.
there.
We got
You got it? All right, there's more
We
Bird
got
Gang
Bird
whiskey.
Gang.
Real quick, shout out to Bird Gang for hooking us up, bottled, reached out and said, hey, that looks like a pretty cool event. Let us give you some bottles. And we said, we will do that. Thank you. So shout out to those guys.
I'm drinking it right now.
You're drinking it right now. Okay, so I'm shocked to hear that Meech has never bought a bootleg T-shirt, but Meech is a.
I do appreciate them.
I know you do. I
Have
know
you
you
ever
do.
sold bootleg T-shirts?
Yeah.
You seem like the guy who
So this is the ironic part. Meech was at one point the foremost T-shirt bootlegger. Now, he didn't sell T-shirts in the parking lot. He stopped short of that. But he did have a nice little business going where he was selling shirts online. Meech, can you give us just a quick recap of this time period in your life?
I did it when I had a Phillies blog, and I used to go to the Majestic store, and every Philly shirt would be $45, and none of them were creative, and they all sucked. So I met these guys from Fishtown who had a printing shop, and I hooked up with them. We came up with some designs, and eventually we got huge. Like we had news stories on Comcast.
Blew up.
Matt Stairs was like
humble over there.
emailing us.
Real
asking us,
humble.
and it blew up so bad that then I got cease and desist letters from Major League Baseball Players Association. Thank you.
That's when you know you made it, Peach.
So I had to give up my very
Yeah, that's the legitimate version of like when the bootlegger gets shut down in the parking lot and gets all their stuff taken.
Once you get that
But I
cease
was
and
also
desist, that makes it
very
official.
cognizant of trademarks, and I would skirt everyone possible.
Trademarks.
I
What do you-
got
wait,
the
hold on.
trademark.
Are you a lawyer? Are you a lawyer? Yes.
Yeah. lawyers.
We got,
Hey,
we got two
lawyers.
lawyers here, and I know only a lawyer would applaud when someone says trademark.
She's here. She's here taking pictures. She's going to sue Dan.
Yeah. What do you- All right. We did not. To be clear. Yeah, to be clear, we did not design any of these shirts except for one, and I'll get to that in a
And
minute.
wait, not only did I get sued by, or not sued, I got a cease and desist from Major League Baseball, the Players Association. My most proud one, I got from Utz Potato Chips. I got a cease and desist.
Wait,
Real
Utz?
quick, what did you do that
I had
led
an-
to that?
I had a Chase Utley shirt and it said Utz UTS and it had Utley holding the bat, like a cartoon Utley.
Smart.
It was a very popular
Hmm.
hoodie.
And guys, for those of you guys, so this is the City Pigeons podcast. We would love for you to join our family and hang out with us every couple weeks or whatever. If you're not familiar with the show, Meech also he just revived his creative spirit and was the originator of the Schwarby shirt. I don't know if you guys saw the Schwarby shirt that was hot over the summer. It was instantly copied by 5,000 bots. But Meech was the true brain power behind the Schwarby shirt, the hottest shirt of the
It
summer.
takes like zero brain power.
That's
to
when we
go with
needed
that.
the trademark.
No,
right
dude, it
there.
was such a good idea that everyone started copying
Yeah,
it.
everybody stole.
And then we would be at the Phillies game, and every shirt I saw was a ripoff, and it was a little infuriating. But that's just life in the world we live in. Okay, so I mentioned that we did create one shirt here, and I don't know if you guys can see the shirt that I'm wearing right now, but it says "Foles to Sproles Super Bowls," and you will note that Super Bowls is spelled with an LES
You gotta-
as
you
well.
gotta slide this way a little
Do I
bit.
got to
So
slide
take-
this way?
Was
Here.
that to avoid copyright infringement, or you
No,
just didn't know
there you
how
go.
to spell?
There you go. That was a topic of much discussion with my friend Justin, who came up with the idea for this. And it's ironic because this was we went back and looked at it. This was in the 2014 season, and it was before the season really even started. And it wasn't right when the Eagles actually were going to the Super Bowl when Foles was the quarterback. And who knows why that couldn't have been? Because Darren Sproles was injured at that point, right? Darren Sproles didn't play in the Super Bowl, so we did not spin this up at that time. But yes, my buddy came up with this idea, and the funny story is, my father, who happens to be the former mayor of Philadelphia and governor of Pennsylvania, Ed Rendell, at the time, my buddy was helping my dad. He was driving him. He was his driver, and he comes to me with this idea, and I actually thought it was a pretty good idea. I said, I think you can sell these in the parking lot. He's like, well, I don't know how we're going to fund this thing. So I said, hey, Dad, I got this idea for you.
Bankrolled by Ed Rendell.
Literally got Ed Rendell to I think we put like $1,000 into this. I swear to God. Got these shirts made. My buddy, who's not a bootlegger by any stretch of the imagination, next thing you know, he's in the parking lot with his book bag. He has no idea what he's doing. Let's just say it didn't work out well economically, but there was a vibe there. And when we did go to the Super Bowl, he showed up and he had a bunch of them at the party. We had a party the night before the Super Bowl, and he comes and he's throwing them around to everybody, and it was a joyous occasion.
That's
So
the night that we actually won the Super Bowl when we were parading down Broad Street and on the Walnut Street. I ran into someone randomly who was wearing one of those T-shirts, and I'm like, "Yo, where the hell did you get that T-shirt from?" And he's like, "I don't know, dude. I just like found it outside somewhere, and I thought it was cool,
Yeah.
and just picked it up." And
So
kept it.
we got a picture here of our buddy Juss, and you guys,
That's
you
your
guys
kid right there, right?
Yeah, this is Dean, and I know you guys know Dean by now. You can see how young he was during the Super Bowl. So this is our buddy Juss who came up with this
Wow.
idea, and Dean the night of the Super Bowl. So yeah, everybody has their own bootleg T-shirt
I love
story.
how you're talking about this idea like it was some brilliant idea, like the origins of like the "Where's the beef" slogan for when.
Why you shitting on the shirt?
Yeah,
Meech?
man.
Seriously.
I feel bad
It's a
actually because
great
Meech has like he has runs on the board. You know what I mean? He's come up with like
I got it.
he's
but
come up with a lot of successful shirts,
Yeah.
and he's shitting on this shirt.
at
So.
the time, the
Meech,
Foles, the Sproles
Meech,
Super
if you
Bowl
seen that in the
shirt.
parking lot, would you buy one?
I wouldn't buy a shirt I came up with in a parking lot. It's just not something I do. I don't. I'm not. You know.
Finish it.
All right,
No,
Well, look,
move on.
we
You
think
know, all right, you know who the new bootleggers are?
yeah,
The little kids who wear their football uniforms and come and harass you for money. They're the new bootleggers.
that's
That
true.
ain't going to your football team.
Yeah.
I don't care. But that ain't going to your football team.
All right. So we're here, one of a kind event, guys. There's racks of shirts. I see people going through the shirts. We got to watch out though, because I've seen
The
some
shirts are
people,
not for sale, right?
and they're not for.
They're not
you
for
can't take
steal
them
either,
You
yeah,
can't take
okay.
them. So pay attention because there's
My shirt is for sale.
everybody here looks pretty legit as far as I can tell.
We have cameras.
yeah.
My favorite part about this exhibit are the little art plaques that he puts like it's an actual piece of art with an explanation of each piece.
What do you?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Dan-
it just sets it off. This is well done.
He
Good job.
left no stone unturned. What Meech is saying is it's like an actual art exhibit. He's literally written explanations for some of these shirts. He's a very historical guy, right? He wants to get it right. So we appreciate him, and he's been a great partner. Now, enough about the event, even though it's fantastic. Thank you, guys. We got a game on Monday, and we kind of got to get into
Talking about
this.
the Sixers afternoon Martin Luther King Day, right?
Yes, the Sixers, 1 o'clock.
There, you're gonna be
That's going to be the biggest game of the day. No, I have never encountered a situation like this in all my years of fandom. Growing up when the Eagles started to get good in the late 90s, the playoffs, any game was like the biggest deal. I have never felt like this before a playoff game, and I'm doing the best I can to get my head right for this. But man,
What
this
do
is
you mean you
weird.
never felt like? In what way have you never felt like you're unsure? You're not confident?
I would normally be so hyped up for a playoff game that I could barely contain myself. And you can tell, I don't have to explain it to anybody.
This is the first time that you quit on a game, or at least I quit on a game that meant something at halftime. Like not even halftime, before halftime. It was like these dudes had everything to play for. Not everything, but they had a lot to play for. They came out and they looked like they just quit. Like when I saw AJ Brown go down with that
you know what the worst
fake
part
ass
about
injury,
that
I'm like,
game
this
was?
team quit.
You know what the worst part about that game was? They played everybody for some odd reason. I guess they were trying to win the NFC East in order to gain confidence. And the starters went down 24-0 and they had to pull them all. Like that is the most like the
It's
worst
embarrassing.
possible scenario that could have happened confidence-wise. I even heard my Lotta was on 94 this week,
Mhm.
and they were like, "What's the mood in the locker room like?" Thinking he would just be like, "Oh, it's great." He's like, "It's not too good."
Oh, man.
Like, speaking of that,
That's what you want to hear going into the playoff game.
I heard Mike Quick on the radio today, I think it was. And, Mike Quick works for the broadcast team. You would think he's trying to build energy for
Right,
this game. Yeah. And he's like, so pessimistic about the game. They asked him what he thinks is going to happen. And he's like, I don't know, and like,
Thanks, Mike.
honestly, like, I mean,
After watching this team for the past however many, 5-6 weeks, whatever it is, how can you have any confidence, any excitement going into this game? It just doesn't look good.
I will say this. I seen Big Dom yesterday in person,
Mhm.
and he said to my face he guarantees a win on Monday.
are you being real?
I think they'll win on
Swear to
Monday.
God, everything. I seen him yesterday
Where did you see him?
in the lobby of a building.
You being real?
I
All right, you heard it here.
He showed me
You
a
heard it
video
here.
of
Guys,
Milano.
Big Dom,
You know-
Aleko.
You know what that means?
Can you get a
4th and
shot
1.
of Big Dom?
Big Dom reports as eligible.
I'm just saying he
Little
promised
play
me
fake,
to
throws
my
it to
face
Big
they're
Dom.
gonna win.
Guys,
And I don't think he
Big
lied to
Dom,
me.
you
Big
heard it
Dom's
here.
got the script. That's
Big
why.
Dom
He knows.
guarantees victory on Monday night.
I don't think he knew
Mike-
you were going
Mike
to go
Bishop
on a
is wearing that
podcast
shirt.
today.
It's his first game back on the sidelines. They're 10-1 when he's on the
I love
sidelines.
Well, listen.
Those are good
Listen,
stats. I don't need
stats.
convincing.
Does anybody think they're not going to win on Monday?
To be honest with you, I started to get that vibe today. I was like, they're going to win the game.
Yeah, they're going to win that
I heard
game.
Kelsey on,
Just
and
to
he's like,
spite us.
just got to go play. Let's go, And I
I
was
think
just like,
they'll
yeah.
win this game because they're playing another shitty team, but it's like you still can't get
I
excited.
don't
They'll
know
win a
what the
close
reason is,
game.
and I don't know why, but once they said it was a Monday night game, I was like, this is an easy win. Like,
Yeah.
if it was Sunday, I
That
wouldn't-
makes no sense.
See, I don't think an easy win. I think it's going to be a shitty, boring game. The Eagles will etch by, and then I'm not going to talk about
42-17.
It's
Garner.
also supposed to rain on Monday. That makes you want to feel a little bit
It's
better.
going to be shit.
Great rain. I don't know. Here's what I do know.
Florida rain doesn't last too long, does it?
When we talk about how the Eagles got here, some people are being disingenuous in my mind because there's a lot of people who are like, how did this happen? They were 10-1. Well, we sat here, Mark. We sat here for weeks at a time talking about how bad they looked winning. And certain people were just like, a win's a win, man. Let's take it. Yeah. And I just want to say, for anyone who's acting like we were 10-1, we looked like the best team in the NFL. You guys remember us talking about Skip Bayless saying how we were getting lucky, and if you look at the stats, we actually aren't better, and we're going to lose. And we were like, the national media is bullshit. Guess what? Skip Bayless was right. I hate to say that. I hate it.
Stop
He
stop
was.
recording.
He
Stop
was.
everything. I don't want to hear his
So,
name.
Mark, do you have anything to say for yourself for being a Birds apologist for 11 weeks?
I'm not going to apologize, but I'll tell you how we got here. Do you want to know how we got here? I actually went back and thought about this today.
Do tell.
He pulls out his
Oh,
notes.
this guy.
This is a
That's
very
man's
unique
speech.
Eagles season, a very unique Philadelphia season. It started, if you recall, and I'm sure I'll miss a few things. It started with Jason Kelsey doing shots with Howie Roseman. Literally. That's how
You
the
think
season
that would be a
started
good thing?
before the draft happened.
What was wrong with that?
That has nothing to do.
We then got a potential number 1 pick in the draft at number 9. Everyone's happy. Everyone's excited. It's like, how could this be?
Real quick, you're not going to do each game one at a time, right?
No,
I just want to be clear.
no.
All right, go ahead.
We then had this unbelievable event down in Seattle City at the OD where Jason Kelsey raised more money than's ever been raised for his charity. People were waiting outside. Literally, the bar closed. People left the bar, stayed outside to get back in the next day. We then had this huge block party on Fairmount Avenue that has never been seen before. Oh, we're so excited for the Eagles season. We're all going back to the promised land. Jump on board now. We then had the Kelly Green release. People are standing in line, waiting for jerseys.
Yeah.
So, Jesse, you know what was lost along the way? You know what all that was?
No.
That was just love. That was pure joy.
Right.
And we kept saying that this team will be carried by love and joy, and they all love each other. And this is different because love always wins, right?
Oh, goodness.
Love always wins.
I think
right?
he's using this as an opportunity to promote the Goodhart firm.
That was
That's a heady play.
just to
And
promote your new
It
slogan.
doesn't mean that love always wins because nothing always wins. And even the Goodhart firm doesn't always win. But love will take you further. And believing in each other will take you further. And it's not lip service. It was real. And so we need to get back to that. We need to find that for Monday night. And we need
Mark, I
to.
got to be honest with you. I got no idea what you're talking about with this love shit.
Mark, I'm usually with you, but I have no idea what the hell you're talking about,
Mark,
bro.
AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts were best friends. They were lovers. They need to get back to being lovers.
Can we mute Mark?
And it's going to be 33-17 Eagles. That's 12 points for Jake Elliott on field goals. Thank you very much.
Oh my God! I think you just said AJ Brown
And Jalen Hurts.
and
are
Jalen Hurts were
lovers.
lovers.
So they
That
love
is the
You said they
quote.
love each other. And
Okay.
love always wins, buddy.
Here's the
Don't
thing.
you forget it.
You
I'm
were.
just going to take the Eagles minus the points. That's going to be my
Turn
part.
that a little bit. Turn that a little bit. That mic. Think. What did you think about what he just said?
Man, what? I love you, Mark, but
How would that have done on one of the fantastic rants on the Fox Finktastic show?
it would have been on the. That would have got cut. No
Cutting
offense,
room
Mark.
floor.
Get that shit
Cutting
out of here.
room floor.
He's sitting here talking about being shot.
Here's the problem. You were so in the moment, all hippy dippy for 10, 11 weeks. Oh, we're winning. It's so great. And guess
Talk
what?
about me,
There's no love left, buddy. There's no love left. Nobody loves each other when shit hits the fan. And guess what? Shit has hit the fan. And the only question is whether they're going to be able to pull themselves up by their damn bootstraps, figure out how to win a game. Now, I have a proclamation to
that
make.
Buffalo win was so fucking good, though. You remember that?
Well, it's so funny. So my buddy's a Buffalo fan, right? He sends out a text the other night after that game. It's only one thing left to do. And he sends the clip from Major League where they're winning one game at a time and they're taking off the owner's thing. And it's win the damn thing. You know what I mean? And so that game was two teams that went in the exact opposite direction.
Right, yeah.
Buffalo was
Buffalo
left for
ended up winning
dead.
the AFC East.
They now, honestly,
Number 2 seed.
speaking of which, we got to get to it. Playoff, John. I'm not going to tell you who I'm looking at, but I think you know based on what I just
What
said.
did Buffalo do though when they hit their skid?
What do you
Fired
mean?
their coach, Ken Dorsey.
Well, they didn't.
Look at them now. We should have fired Brian
He's
Johnson.
got a good point. He's got a good point. He's got a good
Well,
point.
we did kind of demote Desai or whatever. You saw how that works.
And our defense got worse.
Either way, very interesting scenario where teams go the other way. You can very much argue. I would think the Bills are as likely as anybody to come out of the AFC. No,
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
They got
I think the
just as
Bills
good a
will
chance
come out of
as
the
anybody.
AFC. I think this is the year they beat the Chiefs.
getting that 2 seed, that's
Get to the
huge.
Super Bowl, yeah.
Okay, but I have a proclamation to make, and if you're paying attention, you don't know how to handle this game. I'm going to give you my advice. Okay, there's only one thing to do, and you got to do this sooner rather than later, else all this worry and negativity is going to get you. Listen, you have to suspend disbelief. Everything that you've seen over the past 5 or 6 weeks leads you to rationally think this team is going to crumble. As soon as things go wrong, they're going to start looking at each other, blaming each other. They're going to want to go home. I need you to suspend disbelief, go into this game with positive energy, act like this is the Eagles of yesteryear, and just help us bring some juju to this thing that's going to win the game.
Jess, what are you thinking? What's the
Thank you.
limit? Are you talking
Thank you
about
very much.
the sky? Is the limit the sky Super Bowl, or are you thinking one and done? Because I think everybody in this room probably would agree that the Eagles will probably win this game on Monday and then lose to whoever the next opponent is they play.
Okay. I will say this. I actually believe they feel so backed into a corner as a team that if they go down, if they win this game start to finish and look good doing it, I could see them rallying enough and believing and doing the same thing they did when they won the Super Bowl, where they start saying, oh, you guys all, talk that smack on us, but we're here.
Underdog story.
I could see them getting enough momentum. Here's the problem. If they have to go to like Dallas, I just don't see the Eagles going into Dallas and winning. The defense just isn't good enough. We face one of these high-powered offenses. I just don't know that we can stop anybody. I'm happy to see Slay coming back and a lot of these guys coming back. They're rested, but they're making it tough on themselves. So no promises here, but
I just think they
suspend disbelief.
They win this game, like they win it ugly, and they still have a bunch of doubt inside of them, and they go up against a team that has a bunch of confidence next week.
But you also say suspend disbelief, but then you just said we're not going to be able to beat the Cowboys.
I meant for this game. For this game. People don't believe they're going to win this game right now.
Professional on the
They
chat.
could literally win this game by 40 or lose it by 20, and I wouldn't be surprised either way. I have no idea what this team is capable of at this point.
Dude, none. We got a professional in the chat, Devin Kane. He's saying that
DK's in the chat.
They're going to win this round and then lose next round.
What does she know?
She says, wait, Devin says they have an Eagles player in their building, which means she must have some inside info like Fink.
She's got the script.
So Devin talked to the Eagles player.
That was with the Big Dom thing.
Was that Big Dom?
Because Big Dom was
Well, he's not a player.
he was picking up the player. That's
He was picking up the player.
My story was real.
Damn, Fink.
Wait,
You are a
who's the
celebrity
player in your
living
building,
with
bro?
Eagles and shit.
You partying with that player?
Damn.
Nah.
All right.
Okay. On another topic, I'm on a pseudo dry January here, folks, and I've got this non-alcoholic IPA. You're booing my dry January. Rob is booing my dry January. Can you get me, Tommy? Can I have another of these? So here's the problem. This is
Can you give
inside.
me a beer with alcohol in it, please?
This is inside
Thank you.
baseball. Tom does not drink, and he always has non-alcoholic beers. And now I am stealing his non-alcoholic beers, which is a turn for the worse for him.
Yes. Weren't you drinking
Perfect.
the other night when we were meeting at the
No.
bar?
Remember, I was drinking ginger ale.
Where's
you
my
serious?
beer? Where's my beer?
Well, that's a lot. That's not cool.
His dry January is a sham.
Damn it! What did you do to me, Tom? Anyway, listen, I did participate in the Mummers Day parade. So my dry January started on January 2nd, if we're being real. That was awesome, by the way. I didn't tell you guys about that. Holy moly.
I think we should keep that out of this. to be
Yeah,
honest
keep
with
that out of this. All right, so look, we're going to just let it fly, folks. We're going to absolutely let it fly. One thing I was thinking about, though, as an Eagles fan, you guys have been through a lot of shitty times. We had the one amazing moment on the Super Bowl. Outside of that, though, I was thinking across all our teams, and it's like when we get to that point of contention, we can never sustain that. You look around. I just made a note of a couple of these teams, right? The Niners, Cowboys, Chiefs, Patriots, Yankees, Astros, Bulls, Warriors. I'm sure I'm missing a lot of them, but you can't put Philly in that conversation in terms of having sustained ultimate level contention.
Edmonton Oilers of the late 80s.
You just named a bunch of people that won multiple championships.
Right. But my point is, even you look at the Bills, they made it 4 years in a row. Now that seems like torture, but what I'm saying is look at we went in 2004. This doesn't feel like that, right? It's not falling apart as bad as that. We don't have TO doing sit-ups, right? Although, and by the way, did you guys see some of these TO
it's
shirts?
pretty close, man.
Yo, these TO shirts are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
The whole TO scenario gave rise to some amazing bootleg shirts. Please do check that out.
Yeah, do you know there's a shirt that Dan didn't put out tonight that he thought it would offend people? You want me to tell you what it was?
Of course I do.
It was a shirt. It's got a bunch of. Remember when TO threatened to kill himself with pills? It has a bunch of pills sprawled out. And it says Dallas sucks and TO swallows, and it meant swallowing the pills to kill himself. Very morbid T-shirt.
Wow.
Probably a good job by Dan.
That's
to leave
very
that out of this
surprising.
Exhibit.
Look at this guy.
Look at this.
Look at this guy. Come on up. Come on up.
I'm gonna slide out.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Give it up for John Marks.
the one and only
Johnny
John. Hey, John, when people come, we kick Raj out. Raj has to go to the bar, right? So,
Is that Von Taylor?
That's like a promotion going to the bar.
What's up?
how are you, buddy?
Well, 50-50 chance my car's there when I leave.
Yeah,
You didn't park under the overpass,
Yeah,
did you?
wait, real quick before you pass
Probably.
that
The
up.
car's going already.
Yeah. Well, it's half parking authority, half.
Call an Uber.
This is one of the weirdest little spots in the city because like there's so much stuff going on. Bar right down from us, Love City, is constantly full of young folks. You know what I mean? You go a block down from that, I think there's a clinic of some kind, and it is wild, man. So everybody be safe when you're getting out of here. I suggest buddying up if you're gonna, don't leave alone.
A clinic.
Fine.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
You want me to walk you out?
I do not need help. No.
Okay.
I can get mugged.
Okay, so how are we doing? We're on our dad program a little bit, right? Hanging out with the
great.
kids. That's always a good time. Up to
I'm
a
great.
point.
I'm unemployed. I'm
Yeah.
great.
Well, that's always fun for a while,
Well, till next Friday when the first paycheck doesn't come in.
Right. Have you picked up any side gigs? Like, are you thinking about shoveling snow or anything?
DoorDash.
Sell
DoorDash.
bootleg t-shirts.
Yes. Bootleg t-shirts.
Yes.
See this?
I
People love-
was actually going to wear one because my wife makes t-shirts and other apparel.
Well, your wife made
She
a
stole
bootleg
she
t-shirt
stole
of our
the
Swarby
Swarby.
shirt.
Yeah, she
Ladies
stole
and
it,
gentlemen.
and we made money off it.
Ladies and gentlemen, so shortly after Meech invents the Shorby shirt, I see John Marks post you're talking about the Shorby shirt in the radio, and then I think you posted a picture.
I Instagram storied it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, yo, that's a bootleg of the shirt Meech made. He's like,
So
my
hold
wife-
on, now hang on a second. That was your original. Nobody made that before. That was your,
100%.
I came up with it as soon as the Barbie movie.
Wait,
well,
before it
thank you.
came out.
Thank you.
Let me
We
tell you what
sold like 10 of them.
So he made the idea. We made the shirts. We sent them to the Phillies. A picture with Reese Hoskins wearing it,
I remember seeing
and
that. Yeah.
that's when all the bots came up.
They
And
just
apparently, your
took
wife
it.
is a bot too. What did she do? She went on Etsy.
I have no idea the
Yeah.
process. I just know that she said, "You think people would buy this?" And I said, "Yeah, sure."
I want
Why
the
not?
record to reflect. Liz is a bootleg T-shirt
Yeah.
ripoff artist.
I had that same conversation with him about a month earlier.
Is that- yeah, and
Think
it's
people would buy this?
it's not just. It means we have contraband all over the place.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's the best way to do it. It's cheaper that way.
It is.
We were selling them for a lot more than the bots were. You know what I mean?
The grim guys.
How many did you sell?
Can't disclose that information.
We sold a shitload of them, but not as much as the
Over
bootleg
100?
we sold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
Wow.
tell you the truth. We sold a ton of those shirts, and then we came up with the Kirkering shirts.
Don't jinx it.
What's Orion Kirkering?
Which
Yeah.
is we shit.
Okay, my bad. I paid for the designer to make those shirts. He came up with the idea. My bad. Okay, so we came
He
up with
got
shirts.
optioned to Reading last week.
Everything is going well. Phillies are, in the NLCS, and so we re-upped. We're like World Series, baby. Get a bunch of Shorbies, get a bunch of Kirkerings, and then the bottom fell out. So hey, we're praying for Kirkering to be good next year because we got a bunch of shirts we need to sell. Shorby's coming back too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
He sucks, and
Yeah.
no one wants the
Yeah,
shirts.
it's gonna be a problem. We'll ship them off to
They'll end
a
up in
small
a,
village in
uh,
Haiti or something.
Bootleg T-shirt
Okay.
exhibition.
So
10
John,
years.
now that people can't hear you on the airwaves like they used to be able to, I think they probably want to hear from you a little bit. This must have been an interesting time to not be on the air because you got to be pulling your hair out and you want to yell about it.
Nope.
No, just
Not at all.
whatever.
I'm
Don't
very
care.
happy not to have to deal with this.
Don't
I may
care.
not watch the game on Monday night. It's 8:15.
Wow.
It's past my bedtime. I may not watch it. That's
You're
how much I
kidding
hate this team right now. I literally have no interest in
Oh
anything
my
going on
God,
right now.
John,
with this
that
team.
breaks
Come
my
here and
heart.
watch it with
He's
us.
free.
I'm
He's been
free.
freed.
I do not have to have takes on it. I do not have to fire anybody.
Okay.
I have no interest at all.
So I got to ask you a question. You know a lot of guys in the industry. I've been around a decent amount of guys in my time. Did working in the radio to some extent kind of, I won't say it ruined what your experience being a fan, but it certainly changed it, right?
Yeah, of course. You root more for, and of course you're always a fan. How it works in radio is it's easier to do a show if they lose because you can complain and bitch about it.
Right.
It's tough when they win because what do you say? You're like, yay, Eagles win.
Right.
But more people listen when they win, right? So you want them to win, even though it maybe makes it more challenging to do a show.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you're still a fan of your teams, but you root for storylines for sure, right? Like you root for things to talk about because if they're like the Eagles last year were boring, right? Thank God the Phillies went to the World Series because during that stretch, the Eagles were undefeated.
Right.
They were easily winning
There's
games.
nothing to talk
There's
about.
nothing to talk about. They couldn't lose. There's always so many like, yay, the Eagles won again. Now what? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there was that Texans game on Thursday night. I don't think anybody really watched it because it was a World Series game.
Right.
So they saved this last year. The Phillies saved this from a boring, undefeated start to the season last year. If that's something people understand, but yeah, I mean, you root for storylines, but yeah, like you still root for your teams. It just changes it a little bit.
Well, I think there's only one way that this team can capture some of the same magic that the team captured in 2017, and I was just thinking, any tattoo ideas that maybe cropped up for
I had,
you? or-
I had no, no more tattoos. I actually, if you remember from the Phillies, I told Bryce Harper I would get the tattoo next to Nick Foles on my back if they won the World Series, and they went to the World Series. I was actually at Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies
If
were up
they
2 games to
won.
1.
You said if they won.
If they won the World
Right,
Series.
right.
And then I told my wife, my wife legitimately almost divorced me. I have a Nick Foles tattoo on my back because I said if they won the Super Bowl, and I'm not showing it, you can Google it if you want to see it. I'm
I
not
was
taking my
actually
shirt
thinking
off.
if we
Not
took a
taking my shirt
picture of your back with the tattoo on it and put that on a bootleg T-shirt, that could really sell.
Well, Google it, and you can see the Google image. I am not in beach body condition. My back is hairy. I am white. I'm not in great shape right now.
You and me both, buddy.
But no, I told Bryce Harper at spring training, I was like, this will be fun. So I said, if you win the World Series this year, I will get your face tattooed next to Nick Foles on my back. And he's like, oh, that's so cool. You know how like Bryce is like great with everything.
Yeah.
He's like, that's so cool. So then they're in the playoffs. I'm like, holy shit, this could actually happen. They were up 2 games to 1 in the World Series.
I recall.
And everybody's telling me like, oh, you're not going to do it. And my wife's like, you're not going to do it. I'm like, everybody knows I'm going to do it.
Gotta do it.
I got to do it. So thank God they lost. Otherwise, I might be a divorced man sitting here.
If you could do it over
You know,
again.
you didn't
Did you
have
know what-
to promise that to him, right? Like,
I didn't.
Yeah,
Well, that's why
you could've just
Jesse
kept
asked me if
your
I'm
mouth shut.
any tattoo bets. No, I'm finished with it.
That
No
would
Did you
problem.
know what picture of Bryce you were going to use if you did?
That's a great question. No,
You were just
but
gonna-
he's so handsome. It wouldn't have been
It
tough to
should have
get
been
up.
that one where he's like looking up at the home run. That would have been the perfect one.
Oh yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah.
So as it stands, I have a kind of looks like James Spader, a little bit of Lenny Dykstra, a little bit like Nick Foles on my back.
Right.
You can Google it, and he's holding the Lombardi Trophy.
But that's okay, John. You don't strike me as a guy who's walking around shirtless a lot. So it's probably
You
the only
think
thing
to
to
Google
Bust
it.
it out. Deal with
Bust
it.
it out.
Top on it.
So you can see how big it is.
Aleko, get ready for this.
Which one is it?
Aleko. I don't know. All right, John Marks is disrobing. No, is that it? No. Mm-mm. Here, hold on. I don't know.
do you even have the tattoo?
There it is. Wow. Nick Foles with the full
Does
face.
it look like Nick Foles?
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, Johnny.
So the process was I said it on the air, and I remember at halftime being like, "Are they going to win the Super Bowl? I'm going to have to get a tattoo with Nick Foles on my back." And my wife said, "No, you're not." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am. Like this is a big thing." So I kind of did. We didn't talk about it after they won, and then I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to get it done tomorrow." This was after I got home from work. She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I'm going to get the tattoo done tomorrow." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She wanted to be involved in the design. She wanted it smaller.
Right.
But as I pointed out, if you get it too small, you can't.
Yeah.
It's not big. You have to
That's
get
a
it at
good
least a
size.
certain size.
That's a good size.
Was I expecting a quarter of my back? Not
Yeah.
necessarily.
But
You
you
have to see the context of it. For Christ's sakes.
you have gotten in shape, man. I've seen you working out. You look good.
No.
I don't. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
So I'm working on it right now. Like that's the biggest thing with being unemployed for 3 months.
Yeah.
Is that I'm trying to get to the gym a couple times a week now.
Gotcha.
Nah, bro.
All right. Yeah. I'm not making it there as much as I used to, so I might need to get unemployed myself. All right. We got a lot of fun stuff going on this time of year.
We do.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk to you guys about something special that happens every year. And I don't know, Meech, can I open that up to the general public, or is that going to
Absolutely.
overwhelm you?
It's the 13th annual fantasy football playoff drawing.
Playoff, John, folks.
I hold I guess it's a pool that you can call it every year.
Not for money.
No, it's for
Meech.
it's for
No, it's
listen,
not. Be careful, dude.
Nobody's listening
Credit.
to this podcast.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not gonna give a
When the
shit.
FBI knocks
If
on
anything,
your
I'm going to
door.
get taxed by Venmo for all these fucking people emailing me Venmo shit.
See, the problem is now your phone is hearing you. The phone is listening, so that's the biggest
Yeah.
problem.
So the t-shirt business is that
Listen, I'm not
LLC,
enthusiastic about it just because the second I came up with a good idea, everybody fripped it the fuck off. So why am I doing this shit? Like, what's the point of it? So I might be back out of the t-shirt business.
But here's the truth: the playoff John, which, by the way, started so long ago, the use of the term John at that time was actually cool. This has
anymore.
been going on for, you said 13 years?
It's the 13th annual.
And how many people do you have in it now these days?
Last year there was 460 people.
460.
And
Big
top,
cash,
the
folks.
top prize was $6,000. Second place was $3,000. I think third place was like $15,000. And each week, if you win high week, you get $250. You basically construct a roster based on the remaining playoff teams, and then you get 2 flex players each week, and you send your roster in, and then each week of the playoffs, you have to send 2 more flex players in. And the
But you
cumulative
keep your
score-
roster whether they win or
Yeah,
lose.
the core roster stays, and you're going to lose 1 player a game just from
So
the natural
here's what's
selection of
interesting
the
about
team
it to
losing.
me, because last year I think it was the first year I did. I actually got pretty far. I was like
Yeah, you
30th
were pretty
at one
good.
point.
You finished higher than I ever
Yeah.
did.
So you have to choose. It's 2 players from each team, right?
No, it's 1 player from
Oh,
each
one.
team to construct 16 roster
Right.
spots.
So you're like, oh, well, I should take like Josh Allen if I think he's going to be there forever. But then, you can't pick a receiver from that team either. So you have to spread it out with teams
Lots of
that you think
strategy.
are going to go and might not. And
Now,
it's
is this done is this like old school fantasy
Manual
football where you're
on
doing,
the
yeah,
Excel
yeah.
spreadsheets. I send it out after every game and update the
Did you,
scores.
when was the first year you did fantasy football?
I did it back when we used to physically mail our standings every week, and I'd have to call my opponent and be like, "This is who I'm starting."
You got the daily news the next morning and
and
you,
on the
that's how you got
train
the
on the way to
stats. Yeah.
work, I would have my stats up and corroborate with whoever I was playing, and then we'd submit it to the league commissioner. There was no websites, there was nothing for it. It was through the mail. We would get our standings through the physical mail each week.
So how do people get involved in the playoff, John?
They can hit me up on Twitter at Meach1. Even if you go to the City Pigeons, at City Pigeons, just DM, say I want to get. You don't even have to guarantee you get involved. Just say I want to see the rules and how it works, and I'll email them to you, and you decide on your own if you want to play. You can send it to whoever you want.
Although the rosters are due Saturday at 10?
Saturday afternoon.
So you basically have tomorrow.
You got up until about 11 o'clock on Saturday morning, because then we need time to and then before the games start on Saturday at 4:30, I'll send a spreadsheet so there's no cheating, there's no.
So,
and-
Meach, you're still going with the spreadsheet approach? Your kid
Yeah.
didn't come out with the new
I was
program?
trying to get a website together, but it was too late. So
Also, shout out my boy Ed. He's been in the top 3 the past
Yeah.
2 years.
You win money if you get in the top 3?
yeah, 1,500 for third
What was the
place.
payout for the winner last year, Meach? Payout for the winner last year.
$6,000 last year.
Six bands.
Man.
Hey, Rob,
Baby,
pay attention to the
let's
show,
go.
pal.
Couldn't hear him.
Sent my guy a direct deposit. He thanked me very much.
Rock, you getting in there this year? You got your roster picked out?
I might throw how much does it cost to get in?
It's $25 for your roster.
I'm gonna throw a bean in there. I'm gonna throw a Benji in there for 4 teams. I can do that, right? I could put four entries in.
Huh?
I can put 4 entries in.
Can you put 4?
4 entries, $100.
Yeah, you can do as many as you want.
I'm on it and I'm winning. Thank you.
Okay.
Just send that 6 bands my way.
You're not
Rock.
losing that 100, bud. Good luck. Good luck. Yeah, so that's a fun
So
annual
if you
tradition.
do want to join, just get in touch with me. Get in touch with the City Pigeons. I'll send you the rules and everything. It's a really cool thing. I promise. It lasts throughout the whole playoffs. And even if your team sucks, you could still win the high week any week. So you got to keep sending your flex guys in.
All right, we'll get it done. Everybody get involved. It's going to be fun. All right. So one thing, John, are you a dog guy?
Yes.
You got a dog, right?
No.
You don't?
No,
Oh, I
but,
remember you had a
but I
dog
am
for
a dog
years.
guy. Yes.
Yes. What's your dog name?
Lexi.
Yeah.
It's a Jack Russell.
But you never got a dog after Lexi
I
passed?
never got a dog
You-
after.
And your
after
kids
Lexi.
aren't trying to get you to get one?
Yes, but I'm not ready for
That's
it.
my
just yet.
that's my mom's dog's name is Lexi.
It's very
That's all
bizarre.
I got.
Do you have a dog, Meach?
I don't.
You can't have 5 kids and a dog.
I got 5 kids.
It's got 5 kids,
It's
John.
way worse than a dog.
5. Unbelievable. Does anyone else have a
when
dog?
they
Oh,
move out,
and a
I'll get
dog.
you got a dog? Tom, you got a dog?
Yeah, 4 and a dog.
We're
I've got
getting another
4 kids.
foster dog this
I got
weekend.
one.
What?
We're getting another foster dog this weekend.
Oh, I got my dog because Rock and his
Yeah.
wife were fostering a dog. So,
Yo, you guys are my dogs.
I got a
yeah,
precious
that's right.
pup.
Where
My
your
dog's
dogs?
what?
Oh, Fink, you have a dog. You have a
We're not
basically
talking about my dog.
you got a newborn dog, don't you?
Is
Beautiful
Rico
puppy,
making friends out
beautiful
there?
Pink's dog just wreaks havoc on his life.
Yeah,
I feel
Fink
like
can't
his
leave the
dog,
house.
It has beef with me. Like,
Does it?
seriously. Yeah.
It's a beautiful little dog. How could it be so mean?
What kind of a dog?
Cavalier St. Charles Cavalier, however they say.
All right. Well, I know you
Charles
heard
St.
of it.
Cavalier.
I know you have some issues with this dog, but we don't need to get into that because I got a story about my
Jesse's
dog
got a dog issue.
that like just totally is a summary of the world we live in 2023. Okay. You know how people get like when they see a dog off the leash, like dog people?
Oh my God.
They almost like seize up and fall to the ground. Now, my dog, I actually don't even know what kind of dog it is. We got it from Rock. What is it?
Puerto Rican dog.
It's from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Puerto Rican dog.
Yo, seriously, this dog came from Puerto Rico and its name was Burrito, but we changed it to Rico, which I think was better. Anyway, so
It only eats a
Have you been to Puerto Rico?
yeah,
Have you seen the dogs wandering around in
there's
Puerto
some
Rico?
dogs
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah,
No wonder
so,
he's such a weirdo.
So my wife fosters dogs from this organization. I'm gonna shout them out just because I don't care. They're called Souls de Santos.
Yeah.
They take care of all these dogs in Puerto Rico. They send them back here to the States, find little spots for them. Jess ended up with little Rico.
Yeah.
So if people want to adopt
Souls
a
de
dog,
Santos.
Souls de Santos, I think
Yeah,
it is.
you know what's funny? When I got the dog, they were like, all these requirements. They're like, you need to send us pictures and check in. I was like, okay.
Yeah, they want to
okay.
make sure the
Didn't
dog's
do
going
any
to a
of
good home. You know what I
Didn't
mean?
do any of that.
So
Didn't do any of
anyway, what happened with Rico?
Right, so
Or
how Rico is, he's a good little dog. He's got some anxiety issues. What are you going to do? But he gets out of the backyard, right? He digs like holes and he gets any spot under the fence where he can get out. He gets out. But when he gets out, he just like wanders around and we'll be like, oh, we'll hear something. And he's out front barking. He'll bark at people he doesn't know. And then we'll just be like, oh, come on, Rico, come on in. He doesn't hurt anybody. You know, he never attacks anybody, just barks at him, right? So like I'm out there a couple weeks ago. This guy goes, he's been barking for 10 minutes. And I go, yo, he dug another hole. What do you want me to do, buddy? So I pull the dog in, right? Now, this is the world we live in right here, okay? You know I live in the neighborhood of East Falls. And if you're watching online, you can see this post. This is a post, and I'm not going to say the guy's name. You can read it if you'd like. This is in the East Falls Neighbors Facebook group, okay?
Oh.
And he says, ugh, what's the deal with Netherfield Road and irresponsible dog owners? This is the second time while running, I found a little dog just loosed outside in the freezing cold weather. I stood there and let it bark at me for a full 5 minutes before the owners realized and brought it inside.
Yo, you got to be some maniac to stand there and watch a dog bark for 5 minutes without going up to the door and be like, yo, yeah, your dog's out here. Maybe
That's the best
maybe it
part.
escaped. Maybe
Wasn't
it escaped.
he was on
You
a
might-
run, right?
You might want your
he should be
dog.
jogging.
Wait, this guy was just standing there to
You know
wait
how long
for me to come
5
out.
minutes is to sit there and stare at a dog to bark at you? It's a long ass time. You ever stand in front of a microwave for 5 minutes? It's like an hour and a half.
By the way, I don't know much about jogging, but you don't want to break your rhythm.
Well, that's what I'm
Nah.
saying. Like, keep jogging, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can go up and knock on the
If he
door.
wouldn't
Be
have broke
concerned
stride,
about the
he would have
dog.
never heard the dog bark.
And by the way, guess what? That dog is like my child. Don't be taking pictures of my child and posting them on the internet. What kind of crap is that?
You would think if he was there for 5 minutes, he would have a better picture than that like potato cam photo that you just threw up
Rico's
there,
not
right?
alone though.
But here's the best part. I left it out.
Let's get this guy on the pod.
Yeah, let's get him on the pod. Our other neighbor texted
And
to my
beat him
wife
up.
and was like, hey, I think this might be your dog. This guy's posting about my dog on a neighborhood chain.
Yeah,
we
this
don't
guy's
know.
talking shit about you and your dog all
I
night.
was gonna respond and say, what's your address? I'll drop them all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
But-
know what? These Facebook groups, right? So whatever. You got the dog issue, the Facebook
This sounds like a
groups,
tangent.
and yeah, it's a little bit. I'll be quick though. So
I'll be quick.
your guy's bitching about you, not to you directly. He knows where your house is. He didn't come step to your house and knock on your door and say, "Hey, buddy, get a
No,
get
he
a
didn't
stroke."
step to me.
He went to Facebook and Karen or whatever the male version of Karen is. He did that shit on Facebook.
Yeah.
And like every
He was
neighborhood,
white.
every neighborhood has these little Facebook groups, and my wife's on it, and she's on there for good reason. She like helps people out. You know what I mean? She's not on there just bitching about shit going on in the neighborhood.
She
These
would probably
face-
do this.
These Facebook neighborhood groups, if you're not on there to help people, don't go in there and just complain. I'm sure a couple of these people are in this building right here.
Definitely
but
narcs.
they need to cut these groups out. I'm sure Johnny out there and wherever you're
Oh,
at.
yeah.
South
You,
Bend,
you know
you're
the first thing my wife checks in the morning is the Facebook group for
Yeah.
our neighborhood. Yes.
How many Karens on there every morning?
Oh, no, they're like thank God I'm not on Facebook because it's a constant drama.
Yeah, it's
Fights.
There's always
the
something.
president of the association, the HOA association resigned, and they're fighting about that or whatever.
Oh
and
my
it's
God.
like, man, like seriously, like this is first world problems right here is what
Yeah.
what we have.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it.
We
What?
got this guy and his dogs over there barking, and I'm sitting here for 5 minutes taking
But I love
photos
how he
of them.
pretended that he was concerned about the dog's well-being. He's like, the dog's in the freezing cold.
He's
He's
over
over
there
there to the door. Be like, yo,
That
Best
guy's
part
over
is-
there. He's like, I can't wait to get this on the Facebook
But like,
group.
here's
can't
what I
wait to
want.
get
Here's
this
what I
up."
want to explore. I want to explore his train of thought. He's running, sees dog barking, stops running, looks at dog, thinks thoughts about what's happening with the dog. Why is it out here? Then he goes, I should take a picture of this dog. Now, what's the point of taking the picture? He knows he's
He's
not
like, I can't wait to get this on Facebook. I can't wait to get it on.
Yeah.
He's got an asshole
This
transphobe.
family is a bunch of jerks, and I'm going to take a picture of this dog and I'm going to post it. He couldn't wait to get home and get on the neighbors group to post this.
You know
photo.
where this guy
That is
lives?
loser behavior. I can
Shame.
find out.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't investigated who this guy is.
Well, what I
'Cause
wanted
that's what I
to
would've
do,
done.
I wanted to conduct a thought experiment on the back of this incident, and I was going to ask everyone how you think that I should handle this. So, Fink, let's start with you.
So like you said, you would find out where he lived. So I searched him a little bit and I found out he has a blue Ollie. And I said we should go and blow up his car, but I got shot down in the group.
Fink searched him.
If anything happens to his car in the next week or two, it was not me. It was just an idea.
Not me either. All right, Meech, what about you?
I'd write an anonymous letter to his wife and say that he's cheating on her.
Smart. Very
That's
good.
smart.
Very good. All right, over there. Rocky, what about you? What would you do?
You don't want to know what I'm going to do.
Oh shit!
Well, geez, man, that sounds pretty dark.
I'm just kidding. I would just approach the guy and be like, yo, if you got something to say to me about this, don't go to your corny neighborhood Facebook group. Come and tell me.
So, would you knock on his door?
Oh, you know where he lives and everything?
Nah, but
You could
what do
figure
you
it
think?
out.
Are you
I ain't going as
Yeah,
far
you
as to
figure it
figure it out.
out.
If it's like one of your neighbors
Rocky's
and you
thinking
know.
Molotov cocktail
Well,
through the
nice
paper.
Molotov.
Doesn't it say who posted it? Can't you see
yes,
who
his
posted it?
name was on
Yeah,
there.
I mean, all you have to do is Google his name. You'll get his ad.
You ain't got to go that far
Looked
now.
him up and found his car.
Fink
He was
did
looking
find
into
his car.
His car.
No.
But if it's like, it's not like Jimmy, whatever his last name is, he's your neighbor, you know him. You don't
No.
know this guy. Okay.
No.
So yeah, whatever minimal effort, don't brush it off, dude.
So just whenever the dog shits, put it in a bucket or a bag,
Ooh.
and then after a couple of weeks, just
Light it on fire?
leave it on his doorstep. He probably has a
On
ring
fire,
camera,
though,
so
right?
wear a ski mask when you run up so you don't get arrested.
On fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What was it? That was the movie with Patrick Dempsey, wasn't it?
it was some 80s movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just in case, don't let it on fire. But when he walks outside, he steps in it.
What the hell was that movie where he went to buy a telescope and he said he bought the girl a new dress because she spilled wine all over it? Remember that movie? It's such a great movie. I can't remember the name of it.
Hold on.
How did
But
that
was
movie
Patrick
end?
Dempsey shit. They
Can't
flaming
buy me
bag of
love.
poo.
Can't buy me love. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir.
Yes. Can I address some of the comments in the chat? Because Chill Guy says you got to reinforce your fence, brother. Look, dude, I did chicken wire, I did logs and cinder blocks, and this dude, he finds a spot, he wants to get after it. He wants to taste freedom, and he doesn't run away. He just wants to be out there and bark at people.
He's protecting the
I kinda
house.
like that about him, you know?
Yo, I see Grim in the playoffs in the chat. I meant to say they had the funniest tweet. They said they were going to take McQuaid's flyer and make bootleg T-shirts out of it and sell it outside of our venue. That was like the funniest idea. Shout out to those guys are the greatest.
Yeah, you
ever see
guys
their
are great.
T-shirts?
Yeah, man, I see them online all the time. You guys are the best. We got to do something. We got to collaborate, all right?
Yeah.
Not with Meech, though, because he's salty about his T-shirt design. So come to me. I'll think up something as hot and fresh as Foles to Sproles Super Bowls, and we out there. Let's go. I see Wooly Wong in there, too, and he said I just be straight posting conspiracy theories to my neighborhood FB. I guess you can have a lot of fun on there. Make up like a fake alias and just jump in there. Maybe we should do that. Probably not. Anyway, all right. Well, look, guys, I don't know where we go from here in terms of the birds,
Home.
but we go home. That's for
Going
sure.
to
My
hell,
wife's asked me
man.
what
Going
time I'm gonna
straight
be
to
home.
hell.
Everyone here in the building and anyone online or listening on any podcast platform, Monday night, if you want to come watch the game, we're going to watch the game here. I got to be honest.
Oh,
We've lost a lot of games that we've watched games here, which means you can be part of the group that's going to break the streak.
That's
Right?
because
So-
we started watching here in week 11.
That's right. Yeah. Come down, watch the game with us. We're guaranteed to have Kenwood, Bird Gang, all the stuff that we typically have. Maybe we'll have some bootleg T-shirts sticking around for the ambiance. There is
Oh.
talks of a second show. We're not sure if that's going to happen or not. But shout out to Dan McQuaid for making it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Dan, do you want to come up and say something? Dan, do you want to come up and say something real quick? Okay, come on up. And by the way, while Dan's making his way up,
Yo, Johnny, where can they find you at? If anybody, you got anything you want to shout out before you?
any shout outs, John?
No shout-outs.
No shout outs for John.
no.
Look, guys,
You can
this
find him
place-
in his basement
Shout out
or
to
at the
Dr.
coop.
Glad.
Dr. Glad. Can Dr. Glad? Can you get us a Dr. Glatt? Can we do Dr.
For
Glatt?
20, 25 grand. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Oh, and for you, more.
Yeah,
Yo,
for me.
yo,
no.
honestly, no shit. How pissed was Dr. Glatt that you left the radio? He's probably fuck this guy. He was my cash cow.
He wasn't fuck this guy. He said, where are you going?
All right, so
I mean, listen, you bring me on here, I might be able to get sponsorship.
Shit, there you
go. Actually, I couldn't
You
do
might-
that. That's
you might be able to get me ahead of
language
you.
in my
No,
contract.
you just got to wait a long enough time, dude. Just give
90 days,
it,
Jesse.
give it a year or something.
You just need the good heart from
Hey,
for that,
How
buddy.
about this? The Mark's Minute brought to you by Dr. Glatt. What do you think? You think we do that? Take you a minute, you know? Boom,
Sure,
we're done.
absolutely.
All right, guys, this is the Coop. Okay. You can come here and do fun things. If you want to have like a party or like anything, hit us up because we're always looking for cool things to do here. And our mi casa es su casa, whatever they say. So please come back to the Coop. All right, Dan, real quick. Tell us about the show in a few minutes and thank
Sure.
everyone for coming.
Yeah, so thanks everybody for coming. This is a little overwhelming.
Give it up for Dan McQuaid,
everybody. But really, like, I did this show so that I could convince my wife that I needed to acquire more Eagles t-shirts, and that so many people came here means that maybe I can keep doing it. So really, thank you. This is awesome.
validation, no doubt.
And yeah, this is, I've said this in some of my, we got some press or whatever. And, I really do find this sort of bootleg thing interesting because it really is, I'm a journalist, and this really is like a record of what fans were thinking and like doing in a way that you might not get from the teams. Obviously, like, it's a Philly thing. There's a million like things, but like, you don't get, Dallas sucks stuff or the like Bobby Hoying's our new savior. There's two Bobby Hoying tees on that one rack. One is a pocket tee, which I don't think.
That's awesome.
This one here is like insane. The numbers you dial when you need a win, and it's like Wentz and Foles, like 911. And I do, that guy, the one over there that says the Eagles are playing like shit, pass me another beer. That guy was always he was always at like 17th and Market, and I worked right there. And every time I passed, he would say, like, I'm having a special right now for men with like ponytails or men with man buns or men with long hair.
Brilliant.
And so obviously I bought a shirt. But he was gone for a bit, and then I saw that he was back like the other week. So, like when these guys pop up, you can sort of get the vibe of the fans because I guess some of these guys are terrible at what they do. I don't think the life of a bootlegger is a great career, but I wouldn't advise anyone to go into street corner bootlegging. But I just do think that
Look at this.
maybe, yeah.
Not a lot of overhead.
Look at this. It
there.
works so well for you, yeah. Yeah, you should
Either
have
that
like
or
a
drug
blog
dealing,
and then
something like
sell like, Barbie
cool.
or whatever. And so, I do think that this is a, you can, the last year, the Eagles trade at the end of 2022, the Eagles received a trademark for Go Birds, and they got a lot of people like kicked off Instagram for selling merchandise with this on it. And Jeffrey Lurie owns the team. The Eagles now own that trademark, but that is a term that fans say, right? And so I went and searched. I was like, what's the first instance I can find of Go Birds? And I found, and it was like more amazing than I could have imagined. So in 1984, the owner Leonard Tost was going to move the team to Phoenix to settle some gambling debts he had, and these two guys, Robert Venditti and Barry Martin, were at the Sixers game and talking about how like, oh, we're so sad. They were like season ticket holders. And the one guy was like, oh, well, like we did some work near his house. I know where he lives. So they went to his house at like 11 o'clock. And I talked to these guys because I wrote a story about it after learning this thing. And they, rang the bell, nobody answered. So they left a note. And at the note at the end, it said like, please don't move the team, like Go Birds, Philadelphia Birds. And that's the first instance of Go Birds I could ever find. And so, Jeffrey Lurie owns the Eagles, but in reality, like it's us, right? It's the fans who really are the spirit of the team. And so, I do think that a lot of these shirts are a record of how fans were feeling and thinking, and some of them are not very nice.
Especially the one that says Deep Throat the Goat,
No,
and then Big Dick Nick on the back. That was like how fans were feeling at the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that means, but no. So, yeah.
Welcome to the coop.
Welcome to the coop. I'm just thrilled that so many people showed up, and it's really overwhelming, I guess. And yeah, and I'm always buying. My wife doesn't watch the show. Always buying. If you have any bootleg shirts, contact me. Let's try to work out a deal. If you are in the need of some shopping carts, I have some extra ones now. I met some people on Facebook Marketplace who I did not think just some people who are interesting folks.
What about for the next iteration of this? We invite all the bootleggers to come here and sell shirts to people.
Good idea.
What do you guys think?
You're all the lawyers around here will have to have some work to do.
Well,
But
We'll
yeah,
make them sit
I
outside.
got Sixers and Philly stuff too. Nowhere near as large as this, but maybe since this, I guess like this wouldn't be the first time that I like fell into a bit that I can't escape. So let's go. Let's do Phillies and Sixers.
yeah, let's do.
I also collect Penn Relay shirts, and so anybody.
That's quirky.
He's literally got a Penn Relay shirt with Homie the Clown and Saddam Hussein. Literally.
I do.
We've seen it. I'm thinking weird shit swap meet. You know what I mean? Something like that with a sports theme. But this was great. Thank you guys so much for coming. We're going to try to do other stuff like this in the future and come back to the coop. Keep checking out the podcast, City Pigeons, if you are, or if you're a new fan, great. Thank you. And grab a beer before you go. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great night.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you, Johnny.